What's up, people? Welcome back to the Draft Dynasty channel. Today we have Ozzy Wiesblatt, and it's been a while now since I wanted to do a scouting report on him. He's a player that I really enjoy watching him play. I like his style, and he's not super popular for some reason. Not many people are talking about him, but I think he's really good and underrated right now. More people should be talking about him. Without losing any further time, let's take a quick look at his profile. So he is 5'10", so not the tallest guy in the world, but he is pretty thick at 183 pounds. He's pretty strong physically, both his upper body and lower body. He looks fairly strong on the ice when you watch him play. Another thing that it's nice, it's look at all those cool names. So there are 4 brothers, and they are all playing at a pretty high level. So that must have been nice growing up and playing hockey. They must have been a few good ones playing outside, and they are all at a pretty good level too, so it's rare that you have that. Let's take a quick look at his stat. So last year he finished the year with 39 points in 64 games, and of course the Prince Albert Raiders were extremely strong last year, winning the WHL and getting to the Memorial Cup. So he had a little bit of a limited role on a stacked team, and this year he's starting to be the go-to guy offensively. He almost doubled his point production, so 70 points, it's pretty good, more than a point per game, a nice progression there. And it's one thing to look at the point total for the year, but you need to put that into perspective, and we're gonna do just that. So one thing I like to do is put the point per game per 20 minutes played, so this way we have a better understanding, because some players are getting more ice time than other. And so for Ozzy Wiesblatt, he is 10th in all the CHL at 1.35 point per 20 minutes played. So this is pretty good. I bet a lot of people would not have guessed that. Another guy that is doing extremely well, it's Mclennan. I might do a video on him at some point. And there's another stat that I want to look at, and it's the primary assist, total primary assist. So he is 6th in all the CHL. So this is another thing that a lot of people were, when I rank him so high in the best playmaker, top 15 best playmaker, a lot of people were questioning my choice with him, but he got a lot of primary assists this year. One last thing also before starting the clips, it's important to put things into perspective, and the Prince Albert Raiders were a very well coached team, but they were playing a slow pace game. So they didn't mind winning a game 2-1. They were playing a lot of close, low scoring game, so that's why they finished the year with 210 goals for and only 160 goals against. So they had an extremely solid, good defensive team. And for example, if we look other team in the OHL, you can see here Sudbury Wolf, the team of Quinton Byfield, 259 goals for, 240 goals against. So you can clearly see the pace of the game. It's much more wide open, so it's easier to produce, to generate point in this type of game. We can also take a look at the Cole Perfetti team, so 289 goals for and 225 goals against. So this goes to show that you need to take everything into perspective when you evaluate the total point of the player. So it's safe to say that if Wiesblatt was playing in one of those teams in the OHL, he probably would have finished with way more points. Alright, so let's start this thing. So you will be looking at number 19. It shouldn't be too hard to spot on the ice, and I'm gonna start with the first thing I like the most about his game. And for him it was a bit harder to choose from, because I really like his playmaking, but I'm gonna choose his foot speed and his quickness. So overall his skating ability, and I think he was great in transition, so getting the puck from his zone to the other zone. So in the neutral zone, he was doing a very good job. Usually it's more center that are gonna be doing well in transition, so he was a winger for most of the year. Later during the year they tried him at center and he was pretty good, but I think he's more a winger than a center. But all in all, extremely good in transition, and I was very impressed with the improvement he made with his skating ability. Last year I wasn't sure about his skating, because if you only look at his technique and his stride, it's not the cleanest stride in the world, so it's not super fluid. But now the more I watch him, if you're able to move your feet that fast, doesn't matter if your technique is not on point, you're gonna go pretty fast. And he can cross over when he can gain speed in a neutral zone, but overall agility is on point. On top of that, I think he also got the explosion, shiftiness. He's able to create separation and distance himself from the defenseman. And if that's not enough, he's also got a pretty good motor. So he's a guy extremely consistent in his effort. Sometimes you have good skater, but you just never see them going 100% on the ice, and some games you don't see them much, but he's a player that you will for sure notice him on the ice. and he's involved. So a lot of the time he's involved. And speaking of consistency, I don't think he had more than 2 games this year, 2 games straight without a point. So he was very consistent in all the games that I've watched. I cannot say that I've seen a bad game with him. He brings it every single game. So this is another thing that I like about him. So those are a few clips that I had in mind when I was saying he was great in transition. So since he has the quickness, quick feet, good skater, he also had good stick handling and a good vision to go with it. So all the ingredients really are there for him to be successful in transition and be a dangerous guy.
Gooley back to pick it up from Max Paddock. Gooley ahead now for Wiesblatt. Wiesblatt busting through neutral ice. He'll find his way in. Wiesblatt backdoor. Usov scores! What a play!
Just a great headsy play there. Just a Ozzy Wiesblatt.
Let's transition to another category that I like about his game, and it's his physicality. And I'm not sure too many people knows about that, but he's a guy for his size that he's playing very tough. So he doesn't mind going in dirty area, doesn't mind throwing his body around, he doesn't mind dropping the glove to defend his teammate. So he's a guy that I really like the emotion, intensity that he's playing with. And I might be a little bit old-fashioned here, but I put a lot of value into the passion of the player, the emotion, the character, intensity, body language. Those are all things that I value super highly, maybe higher than other people. And I'm not just talking about fighting after a big hit or something. You don't always have to fight, but whenever one of your teammates get drilled in the corner right beside you, it should fire something inside you. You should have an emotion. You should be mad about that and go in the other player's face, talk to him, push him. Don't necessarily need to fight, but it should fire you inside. Otherwise, it just means that you don't care enough, you're not passionate enough, and you need that level of intensity to win a Stanley Cup. I might be a little bit biased here because personally, when I was younger, I've been lucky enough to be on very strong teams, winning a provincial and a regional playoff. I've won a lot of tournaments as well. I always played on strong team, and the best team we had a bunch of great leaders, and we played together for 5 years straight, almost the same core group, and those guys are like family till this day. 15 years later, we were really close. So maybe it's me that's biased, but I think the stronger your team chemistry is, the better your chances are to win. So I guess this is a long way to say that he's a player that I would want to have on my team playing with me, and I think he's a guy that's gonna always have your back no matter what. And more importantly, I think he plays to win and not only for personal stats. Let's transition to a different category, and you probably already noticed that in the previous clip that I've shown, but his stick handling, puck skill are on point. I think he's an elite stick handler. He's got really good hands. While we are watching some of his stick handling clips, I'm gonna go ahead with my NHL player comparison, and for him I have decided to go with Travis Konecny. Yeah, they are similar in terms of size. They're also a right-handed guy, and I think they are explosive skater. Both of them are very explosive, and Travis Konecny plays with a little bit of a grit, a toughness, in-your-face type of guy. He plays in all 3 zones. He's a bit annoying to play against, and he has a great package of skills, kind of like Ozzy Wiesblatt. So they're both good stick handler, good playmaking ability, and they can also shoot it. So they are complete player. Offensively, they have sharp tools. In terms of projection, I think it's possible that he reached the level of Konecny, but Konecny is starting to be a really good player nowadays, but there's a chance that he reached that level, kind of a 50-ish point guy. And I just realized that I have a bit too much good clips on him, so I'm just going to throw some music in the background, and I'm going to roll some clip of his playmaking and his goal scoring. stick handling, playmaking, shooting. He's a very complete player offensively, and I really like the fact that he has physicality on top of that, emotion, intensity. It's rare to have this specific type of package, and for me this is the kind of player that I like, so you can expect him to be in my first round. This is gonna be it for this episode. If you enjoyed the scouting report, give it a thumbs up. For the next episode, it's gonna be a surprise, and there's not many footage on him, so I think you're gonna really like this one. So see you on the next one. Bye.